Hey ladies, my name is Auburn, and it's really nice to be able to finally show my face to you guys. I've definitely enjoyed being able to get to know you both a little bit better over the discussions the past week, and I'm just excited to see what this one holds. So, we've been talking about emotional intelligence this week in our lecture, and that's a really big topic. um, it definitely encompasses every aspect of our lives. We experience emotions every day in every conversation we have. And so I thought that as college students, it'd be important to focus a little bit on the types of intelligence that we can be as people, as we are choosing our professions and finding our place in the world. That really is prevalent in our lives, is discovering which emotions that we're strong in and which we could work on a little bit more. So the first five, I'm just going to quick mention. There would be verbal, mathematical, and logical, spatial, kinesthetic, and musical. And while those are important, the last two are really what make up emotional intelligence the most. So that would be the interpersonal intelligence and interpersonal intelligence. So I want to go into a little bit more depth about each of those. So first of all, we have the intrapersonal intelligence. That one would be when we're looking within ourselves to detect which emotions that we're experiencing, figure out how to manage those emotions, really making any decisions based on emotions in order to maximize the happiness we experience in life. And then interpersonal communication would be how we're conveying our emotions to other people, how we're picking up the emotions that people are giving off, and even how they're managing their emotions. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the aspects of the article that we had to read, discuss about each of those types of intelligence. So I'm going to start with the interpersonal, and the article gave three styles of dealing with our emotions. And so the first one would be self-aware. So people who are self-aware, they have clarity about their emotions, they have good psychological health because of that, and they also have a more positive outlook on life. So because of all of those things, they're better able to manage their own emotions overall. The second type of style of dealing with our emotions would be engulfed. And those type of people feel swamped by their emotions. They're generally overwhelmed because they're not very aware of the feelings that they have, yet they're experiencing all these emotions at once. So because of that, they don't really have much control over what they're experiencing. And then the third type would be accepting, and those type of people would be clear about what they're feeling, but at the same time, they really have no desire to change. So if you're in a good mood, you really just want to stay in that good mood. And if you're in a bad mood, you really have no desire to change that you're in a bad mood. So a lot of times people with depression would experience that type of style of dealing with their emotions because they're always going to be in this sad mood, but they just don't have any desire to change that. So the article talked about one disorder that would be dealing with our interpersonal intelligence, and that would be the alexithymia. And those people that experience that disorder have no idea of what they're feeling. They're unsure of the emotions that they're feeling because they are feeling a flooding of emotions. So they have a similar style of dealing with our emotions as engulfed people do. And the article also mentioned that they're really unsure of the cause of this, but they theorize that it has to do with a disconnect between the limbic system and the neocortex. So we're able to feel those emotions, but they aren't able to express or recognize them. And so, if you have that disorder, I think it's crazy to think that because all of our decisions are made up of how we're feeling about some things, that we would really be indecisive. We wouldn't be able to make up our mind because we wouldn't know how we feel about certain choices that we have. And so it would lead to a lot of frustration in life. And then when we look at the interpersonal side of things, the article mentioned four abilities that make up interpersonal intelligence. So the first one would be organizing groups. So someone who's intelligent with organizing groups would be able to coordinate efforts of a network of people, so that's absolutely essential for a leader to have. So a good job for someone who has a strength with organizing groups would be anybody who's a director, like a military leader, a theater director, so basically anybody who is in charge of a group of people. The second one would be negotiating solutions. So those type of people that have a strength in that would be peacemakers or mediators. So they're good at deal making. And a job that would be sufficient for somebody that's good at negotiating solutions would be law enforcement. The third one would be personal connection. So the people with that ability would be able to recognize and respond to people's feelings and concerns. So they would be dependable, they'd be a team player, and they'd really just want the best for everybody. So a good job for someone like that would be a salesperson. And then the fourth and last ability that the article talked about was social analysis. So people that have a strength in social analysis would be able to detect and have insights of people's feelings, motives, and concerns. And so that would be people who are easy to be intimate with and open up and share things with. So pretty self-explanatory, but a good job would be someone that has social analysis strengths would be a therapist. And then one disorder that the article talked about in terms of interpersonal intelligence was a psychopath or sociopath, and that's someone who's unable to feel empathy or compassion for other people, and they generally just make shallow emotional connections with them and can lead to a lot of violent behaviors. So, I just have a couple questions for you guys to kind of spark our discussion for this week. And so, first of all, I know that I didn't talk a lot about the first 5 intelligences, but when looking at all 7 intelligences, which one of the types of intelligences are you strongest in, and which one do you think that you could improve most in? And then the second question I have is, has there ever been a situation in your life where you've dealt with somebody who does struggle with interpersonal intelligence or intrapersonal intelligence? And if so, how were you able to detect that, and how are you able to deal with it? So ladies, I'm looking forward to our discussion this week, and I just want to thank you for watching my video.